They passed around gifts like I didn't even exist. My cousins opened Apple Watches. My brother unwrapped designer shoes. Even my alcoholic uncle got a damn gift card. But when the last box was handed out, everyone went silent. There was nothing. For me. If that made your blood boil, just wait. This story's going to light you up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because what happens next, nobody saw coming. My name is Grace. I've always been the invisible one in this family. Quiet, broke, unsuccessful. At least that's how they chose to see me. But the truth was far from it. I'd been working on something massive, silently, for years, while they mocked my choices. Last year, when I told them I quit my retail job, they laughed behind my back. Aunt Karen even said, "What is she going to do now? Sell candles on Instagram?" They didn't know I was building an e-commerce business that now ships to 42 states. They didn't know I'd paid off my college debt, saved 6 figures, and invested in a startup that just closed its Series B round. But that night, that Christmas dinner, was the final straw. I sat there smiling while they acted like I didn't matter. My cousin Riley, who hasn't worked a real job in years, bragged about his new apartment, the one his dad paid for. My brother Chase flexed his new car keys. "Tesla," he said loud enough for everyone to hear, glancing at me like, "You still walking, sis?" Then Mom looked at me. "Oh, Grace. We didn't know you were coming, or else we'd have gotten something for you, too." I nodded. "It's okay," I said softly. "I actually brought something for you all." Everyone paused. Even the forks stopped moving. I stood up and walked to the small bag I brought in. My heart was pounding, but I knew this was the moment. The moment I'd imagined for months. I handed each of them a neatly folded envelope. "Open it," I said, calm and controlled. Inside each envelope, a personalized letter with ownership documents. I had bought the old family cabin they all loved but had long forgotten about, renovated it, turned it into a luxury Airbnb, and now each of them had a revenue share agreement inside their envelope. 5% stake, real money, passive income, dead silence. Wait. Riley blinked. This is legit?" I smiled. "Yeah. I own the company that runs 3 of the top-performing luxury Airbnbs in the state. You all ignored me, laughed at me, but I didn't need gifts tonight. I am the gift." Before anyone could speak, Chase whispered, "Grace, what else have you been doing?" I looked straight at him. "You know that startup that just made Forbes' list? I'm one of the founding investors." And that's when Dad dropped his wine glass. They all stared at me like I was some kind of ghost, or worse, a stranger who had invaded their perfect little world. Mom's face turned pale, her fingers trembling as she clutched the empty plate in front of her. Aunt Karen whispered, How did you keep all this from us?" I shrugged, calm but fierce. Because no one ever asked. Everyone was too busy laughing at me to realize I was building something real. Chase finally found his voice, but it was barely more than a hiss. "Why didn't you tell us? Why keep it a secret?" I leaned in, eyes locked on his. "Because I wanted you to see the real me before I needed anything from you. I didn't want pity or fake support. I wanted respect. And tonight, you all got a taste of what happens when you underestimate me." Riley scoffed, but his voice cracked. "So, what's next? You going to buy the whole town?" A small smile crept onto my lips. "Funny you say that. I'm already talking to investors about expanding into commercial real estate. But don't worry, there's enough space for all of us, if you're ready to stop mocking and start working." The room was thick with shock, jealousy, and something else. Regret. Because the little sister they ignored was now the one holding the keys to their future. Dad finally spoke, voice heavy with a mix of anger and awe. "You always were stubborn, Grace. Maybe too stubborn for your own good." I stood taller, feeling the power in my chest rise. Maybe, but stubbornness got me here, and it's going to take a lot more than your doubts to stop me. As I sat back down, a slow, cold silence filled the room. No one said another word for the rest of the night. The family Christmas dinner that was supposed to humiliate me turned into the night I crushed every single one of their expectations. But this was just the beginning. They thought this was the end of my story. They had no idea what I was truly capable of. After that night, things changed, but not in the way my family expected. Instead of apologizing or trying to reconnect, they started whispering behind my back. Texts went unanswered. Invitations stopped coming. The same people who once ignored me were now pretending I didn't exist at all, but I wasn't about to disappear again. I doubled down on my work, turning my Airbnb empire into a full-scale hospitality brand. I hired a small team, launched a sleek website, and even started getting featured in local magazines. All while my family sat on the sidelines, watching my success like it was some reality show they couldn't get off the couch for. One afternoon, I got a call from an unexpected number. It was Chase. He sounded different, nervous, almost desperate. "Grace, I need to talk. Can we meet?" I hesitated. This was the same brother who mocked me months ago. But I also knew this was an opportunity to flip the script again. "Fine," I said. "Tomorrow, coffee shop on Main, noon." When he showed up, the confident, arrogant guy was gone. Instead, there was a man who looked tired, worried. "I messed up," he admitted. "I've been laid off, and I'm drowning in bills." For a moment, I saw the little brother I used to protect, the one no one really cared about. But then I remembered every insult, every cold shoulder. I smiled. "You're here now. What do you want?" Chase swallowed hard. "I want in. On your business. I want to work for you. I want to learn." I looked him in the eye. "You had your chance to support me. Now, if you want in, you're going to have to prove you deserve it." He nodded, relief flooding his face. But as I watched him leave, a quiet question settled in my mind. Could I really trust him? Or was this just another chapter in the family drama waiting to explode? The empire was mine, but the real battle was just beginning. The next few weeks were a test, not just for Chase, but for me. I threw him into the deep end, assigning him tasks that pushed him to his limits. He fumbled at first, missed meetings, made rookie mistakes. Watching him struggle stirred something in me, part frustration, part cautious hope. One late night, as I was going over the numbers in my small home office, Chase knocked on the door. "I stayed late at the coffee shop to finish that market research," he said, holding a stack of papers. "I want to get this right." I nodded slowly. "That's a start, but you need to understand this isn't just a job. It's about vision, about grit." He looked at me, eyes honest. "I know I was a jerk. I didn't believe in you, but I want to change." It wasn't easy to forgive, but something about his determination reminded me of the fire I had inside myself when I started this journey. I decided to give him a chance. Maybe, just maybe, we could turn this family mess into something stronger. But just as things seemed to be settling, a new storm hit. One morning, I got an urgent email, a legal notice. Someone was challenging my ownership of the family cabin property. The name on the letter made my blood run cold. It was my own mother. She claimed the property was rightfully hers, accusing me of fraud. The message was clear. My family wasn't ready to accept my success, and they were willing to fight dirty to take it back. The tension exploded during the next family call. Mom's voice dripped with venom. "You think you can buy your way into this family, Grace? We built that cabin. You're nothing but a thief." I clenched my jaw. I worked hard to make that property profitable. If you want to fight, we'll see who really owns it. Chase looked torn, caught between loyalty to Mom and his new place beside me, but I refused to back down. This wasn't just about a cabin anymore. It was about proving that no matter how much they tried to break me, I was the one who held the power now, and the battle for respect and the family legacy had only just begun. Months passed, and the legal battle turned into a full-blown war. Every move my family made to challenge me only fueled my fire. I hired the best lawyers, uncovered old documents, and even found witnesses who confirmed my rightful ownership. The same family that mocked me was now scrambling to keep up with the woman they once called a failure. Chase stood firmly by my side throughout everything. He'd transformed from a skeptic to my biggest supporter. Together, we pushed the business further, opening new properties, signing partnerships, and building a brand that became impossible to ignore. Then came the ultimate family reunion. Mom insisted on one last meeting, demanding we all come together to settle this once and for all. I agreed, but on my terms. The reunion was held in that very cabin, the battlefield of our fight, now renovated to reflect success and power. As everyone arrived, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. They looked at me with a mix of resentment and awe, unsure how to face the woman who had turned their world upside down. Mom spoke first, trying to maintain control. "Grace, this family has always been about loyalty. You betrayed us by going behind our backs." I held up my hand to stop her. "No, Mom. I was ignored, laughed at, and pushed aside. I didn't betray anyone. I built something when no one believed I could. That's loyalty to myself." The room fell silent, the truth hanging heavy in the air. Then, with a calm but commanding voice, I revealed the last twist no one expected. I had secretly bought the company that supplied all the properties in our area with essential services. Suddenly, the family's financial dependence on me was undeniable. Eyes widened. The very people who tried to tear me down were now tied to my empire. I looked at Mom and said, "I'm not here to destroy this family. I'm here to rebuild it. But on my terms. Respect comes with hard work, not entitlement." For the first time in years, the family saw me as more than the underdog. I was the queen of my own empire, the architect of my destiny. And as the sun set behind that cabin, I realized the greatest gift I'd given them was the truth. That no matter how many times you're pushed down, the power to rise is always in your hands.